To make this Easter basket, all you need is any type of yarn that you have. I'm using this 100% acrylic yarn. It's weight 2, so it's pretty thin, but I'm going to be using 2 strands at the same time, so it's weight 4. And with that, I'm using a size 4 hook. You will also need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and a stitch marker. So to begin, grab your yarn like this, and we're going to start with a slip knot instead of a magic ring. So just make a loop like this and hold on to it. Go into the loop, grab the long yarn and pull, and this is your slip knot. Now take your hook and insert and just tighten it around the hook. From here, I'm going to chain 5. So yarn over, pull through, that's 1. Yarn over, pull through, that's 2. Yarn over, pull through, 3, 4, and 5. Once you have 5 chains, we're going to make a slip stitch into the very first chain right here. So insert your hook into the first chain we made, like this. Yarn over, pull through, like this, and pull through all the way. And now if you pull this apart, you will see that it naturally creates the circle in the middle, and this is what we're going to be working out of. So from here, I'm going to chain 2, yarn over, pull through, that's 1, yarn over, pull through, that's 2. So as you can see, this is the middle we're going to be working out of. It looks like there's 2 circles, one on the top, but this is just from our slip stitch, so it's not the circle we're working out of. The one we need is the one in the middle, the big one right here. You can put your finger through. So from here, we're going to make 12 half double crochets into the circle right here. So yarn over on your hook first. So to start, yarn over, we're going to insert the hook into that circle. So take your hook and insert into that circle in the middle. Keep your tail on top of your hook, so we crochet around it. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop like this. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So 1, 2, and 3. So that's our first half double crochet, and I'm going to take a stitch marker and place it onto that first stitch we just made, like so. So now we continue. We need to make 11 more half double crochets into the circle. So again, yarn over on your hook, insert into the circle, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. So 1, 2, and 3. And that's your second stitch. So now we need to make 10 more. So yarn over, into the circle, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Like that. So yarn over into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And remember to keep your tail on top of your hook here, so we crochet around it, like so. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we just keep going until we have 12, and I will show you how to end the row. And this is the last half double crochet into the circle. You can always count back your work. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, including a stitch marker. And at this point, you can take the tail and pull on it, and it will close up the circle in the middle, like so. So from here, we're going to join this round together. So we're going to take out the stitch marker. We're going to insert our hook into that stitch where the stitch marker was, like so. Yarn over, pull through, and pull through all the way. And that's our slip stitch. And just tighten it. From here, we're going to chain 2, and we do this at every single row. So to start the next row, you always chain 2. So yarn over, that's 1 and 2. So from here, we're going to increase in each stitch, which just means 2 half double crochets in each of these stitches. So we started with 12. At the end of this round, we will have 24. So we're going to place 2 half double crochets in each of these stitches. So to start, we're going to yarn over and insert into that same stitch that we did the slip stitch in right here. So insert, pull up a loop, you have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all the way. And this is our first stitch of this round. So we're going to place our stitch marker back on, like so. So we need 1 more into that same stitch since we're doing increases. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all the way. So now we have 2 half double crochets into 1 stitch, and we do the same thing into the next stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook into that next stitch, which is right here. This is what it looks like from the top, that V. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. That's 1. We need 1 more into that same stitch. So yarn over, insert in the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all the way. So now you have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we continue this at each stitch until we come back here where we have 24 stitches in total. So for now, just continue making 2 half double crochets in each of these stitches. So the next one is right here. Yarn over, insert your hook into that next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. 1 more in the same stitch. Like so. So just continue this all the way until you reach 24 stitches, and I'll meet you at the end. So once you have 24 stitches, you can always count back your work here and make sure you're not putting any stitches right in here because this is from our slip stitch from the last row. So it's not a stitch, it's just a slip stitch. So at this point, you should already have 24 stitches. And again, we're going to make a slip stitch onto that first stitch to finish off the row. So take out the stitch marker, like so. We're going to insert our hook into that stitch where the stitch marker was, yarn over, pull through, and pull through all the way, and just tighten it. So that's our slip stitch, and we finished our row 2. So from here again, to start the next row, we chain 2, 1 and 2, and this is just for the height, this is not a stitch. And for row 3, we're going to increase again, but this time we're going to place 1 half double crochet, 1 increase, 1 half double crochet, 1 increase, and so on. So to start, we're going to place 1 half double crochet into that same stitch that we did the slip stitch. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And again, since this is our first stitch of this row, we're going to place a stitch marker back on, like so. So we're done with this stitch, and the next stitch is an increase, which means 2 half double crochets. So yarn over into that next stitch right here, insert, pull up a loop, you have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all the way, and 1 more in that same stitch since it's an increase. So now we have 1 increase. To move on, we do 1 half double crochet, then an increase, 1 increase, 1 increase, and so on until you come back all the way here, and at the end you should have 36 stitches. So since we did an increase here, the next one is just 1 half double crochet. So yarn over, insert into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, and that's just 1. The next stitch is an increase. So again, you do 2 half double crochets in here, just alternating until we get back at the end, and I can show you how to finish off the row. And now I'm working on the last stitch here, so it's the last increase, like so. And at this point you should have 36 stitches all around. And again, don't forget, this is not a stitch here, so don't place any stitches here. This is just from the slip stitch from each row. So once you have your 36 stitches, we're going to take out our stitch marker, insert our hook into that stitch that the stitch marker was in, and place a slip stitch. So pull through all the way and just tighten it. And you can always just tighten the middle as well, just pull on the tail like so. So to start the next row, again we would chain 2, 1 and 2, and for this row we're going to again increase, but this time we're gonna have 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, and increase, 1 1 increase, 1 1 increase, 1 1 increase, and so on. So to start, yarn over, we place our first half double crochet like always into that same stitch where the slip stitch is. So insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. So that's 1, and we put the stitch marker back on so we remember that this is the first stitch. And now we continue, so we need 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. So that's 2, and now we do an increase, so 1 1 increase. So we place 2 half double crochets into this stitch like so. So we have 1 1 increase. Again, we do 1 1 increase, 1 1 increase, and so on. And I will meet you here to start the next row. And we're doing our last increase into that last stitch right here. 1 and 2, like that. And now you should have 48 stitches all the way around in your circle. And again, we can close it by doing a slip stitch where the stitch marker is. So take it out, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through all the way like that. Again, chain 2, 1 and 2, and at this row we're going to do same exact thing, except we're doing 3 half double crochets, then an increase. So 1 2 3 increase, 1 2 3 increase, 1 2 3 increase, and so on. So yarn over, insert the first half double crochet into that same stitch as a slip stitch like always, and put the stitch marker back on since this is our first stitch of this row like that. Now we move on, so yarn over into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet, into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet, and we place an increase in the next stitch. So that's 1 and 2 in the same stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3 increase. And now we just repeat the same thing. So 1, 1, 1 increase all the way around, and at the end you should have 60 stitches, and I will meet you over here. And the last increase into the last stitch. That's 1 and 2. And at this point you should have 60 stitches all the way around. You can stop at any time and start building the basket this way, which you can skip ahead, or I think I'm going to do one more row. So just take out your stitch marker again, insert your hook, and slip stitch. So pull through 1 and 2. We're going to chain 2, and in this row we're going to do 4 half double crochets, then an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4 increase, and so on all the way around, and we should have 72 stitches in the end. So to place the first stitch, yarn over, we always start with the slip stitch. So insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. This is our first stitch. Put the stitch marker back on. Now we make 1 into the next stitch. This is 2, 3, and 4. Now we make an increase into the next one. So that's 1 and 2. Like that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. And we do the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then an increase. Just do this all the way around, and I will meet you back here. And now the last increase into that last stitch. So 1 and 2. And again, to finish off the row, we're going to do a slip stitch onto that stitch marker stitch. So just pull through all the way. So at this point, you should have 72 stitches. I'm going to stop here and I'm going to start building the basket height. But if you want to keep going, you do the same exact thing where you chain 2 to start the row. Then you do your first half double crochet into that same stitch, and you just increase at each row. So for the next row, you would do 5 half double crochets, then an increase. The row after that, you would do 6 half double crochets, then an increase. Row after that, 7 increase, 8 increase, and so on. So that's how you just build your circle, and that way it stays flat as well. It doesn't curl up as you crochet. So from here, I'm actually going to start the basket. So we do the same exact way where I'm going to chain 2. So 1 and 2. And at this row, I'm going to be working in the back loops of the stitch in here. So not the full stitch, how we've been doing, but only the back loop, like this. And in the back, if you look, so if you put your hook through, if you look in the back, you have another stitch right here. So back loop, in the back, you also have this stitch. So that's what we're going to be going through, like that. So if you look at it from the front, we always go through the full stitch, but only for this row, we're going to go through the back loop, put your work behind, and go through this stitch as well. So we're going to be working like this. and this is what's going to build the height for the basket instead of going wide. So to start, we're no longer increasing, we're just going to stick to 72 stitches or however many you have for whatever row you stopped at. So to start, we have our 2 chains, and we're going to place our first one right in here. So we usually put our first half double crochet into the same stitch as the slip stitch right here, but instead of the full, we're gonna go through the back and the back stitch as well, like that. So yarn over, insert into the back loop, like so, and insert into the back stitch as well, like so. Yarn over, pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all the way. And this is our first stitch, so we're going to place our stitch marker. And again, we repeat the same thing all the way around, so there's no more increases, we're just doing 1 half double crochet all the way around, back loops only. So yarn over, insert into the back loop, like so, and look on the back, also insert into here. So again, if I show you, you go through the back loop only. So instead of the whole stitch, we're going through the back loop and the back loop from here as well. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, and again yarn over into the next back loop only, look on top, grab that stitch as well, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, and just repeat this all the way around. And you start to see how this is standing upwards like that, and it's creating this ridge-like look, and that's what we want. So our basket is going to start building up instead of going wide. So just continue making 1 half double crochet all the way around, back loops only, and I will meet you back here. So that was my last stitch here. Again, don't mistake this here, which is a slip stitch, for a stitch. It's just a slip stitch, so don't place any stitches here. So at this point, you should have 72 stitches if you've ended at the same row as me. So we're going to slip stitch the same way as we did for each row. So you take out your stitch marker, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through all the way. And again, we chain 2 to start the next row. And now we do the same exact thing, except we're using the whole stitch here. So yarn over, go into the same stitch as a slip stitch, like so, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all the way. And this is our first stitch, so we put the stitch marker back on like that, and now we just continue. So yarn over into the full stitch like normal, pull up a loop, pull through all the way into the next, like that. So now we just continue this all the way around. At this point, this row that we just did created this ridge. So now your basket should be building upwards like this. So now from here, it's really easy. You're just going to place 1 half double crochet in each of the stitches. There are no more increases or decreases. You just keep going the same way all the way around. You slip stitch once you get to the stitch marker, chain 2 to start the next row, and just 1 all the way around. Just make sure that at every row you have the same amount of stitches, so you're not skipping or adding any extra stitches. So from here, you just create as many rows as you want, which will be how tall or short you want your basket to be, and I will meet you at the end to make the handles. So now I'm working on my last row. This is the last stitch right here. And I did about 6 rows in total, but you can make it longer or shorter. And I'm going to take out the stitch marker and slip stitch, pull through all the way. And from here, we're going to start building the handle for the basket. So if you want it to be directly in the middle, just count your stitches. So if I have 72 in total, I'll just divide it by half and get to the other side. So 36 is somewhere around here. So I'm just going to place a stitch marker so I know where to go into. So to start, you're going to start chaining the length. So there's no right or wrong amount of chains you can do. It just depends how long or short you want your strap to be. So we're just gonna chain. So yarn over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just keep making chains for as long as you want it, and I will meet you how to attach it to the other side. So I chained around 38, 39 chains, and now we can attach it to the other side. So you can take out your stitch marker and just remember the stitch that you're gonna work through and insert your hook into that stitch, just like that. Make sure your working yarn is behind you, like this. You're gonna yarn over and slip stitch. So pull through and pull through all the way, like that. From here, we're gonna go into the stitch beside it here. Insert, yarn over, pull through, and again, pull through all the way, like so. Now, we can start to go back up the chains to make it thicker. So from here, again, your working yarn is behind you like this. And we're gonna go through each of these chains and just make a single crochet. So insert your hook into the first chain. Like so. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through. Now again, insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. So insert your hook into the chain and just single crochet. Insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. So just do this all the way, and then I will show you how to attach it to this side. So once you've done all of the chains, there's no more chains to crochet into. We're going to go into the next stitch. So we worked from this stitch, now we're gonna go into the next stitch right here. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, and slip stitch all the way, like so. And once you finish a slip stitch, we're going to actually slip stitch all the way around the brim to finish off. So you're just gonna continue. So you're gonna go into the next stitch right here, insert, pull up a loop, pull through all the way. So that's your slip stitch. And you go into the next one. So next stitch, insert, pull through, and pull through all the way. And again, into the next stitch, pull through all the way. And it should start to look something like this. It gives a nice brim-like look. So we're just gonna do these all the way around. I will meet you here to show you how to get over the handle, and then we'll continue this way. When you get to the handle part, you don't do anything different, so you just keep going. So the next stitch is right here. Just slip stitch and just keep your yarn behind you like this. And next stitch right here, insert, yarn this way, pull through all the way. And I'm just gonna switch my yarn and go under from here. So it should look like this. And you just continue. So into the next stitch, slip stitch, so to continue this all the way until we come back where we started, and I will show you how to finish off the whole project. And now I'm almost at the finish, so just a few more stitches left. Here again, just go through the stitch like regular, as if the handle's not there. And the last one right here, slip stitch. So once you slip stitch your last stitch here, I'm just going to actually take my scissors and cut off the tail like this. And you can just pull through. You can grab your yarn needle and put your yarn through. And I'm actually going to go into the first slip stitch we did here. Just go right through the middle of it and pull on the other side. Just like that. Here you can just hide the yarn in the back. So I'm just gonna go through any of these stitches and just hide the yarn. And just pull. And you can just go back up the same way. Just make sure you don't go back through the last loop that you did so your yarn doesn't unravel. So I'm just gonna go back up and pull. And once you feel like your yarn is secure enough, again, you can grab your scissors and cut it off. And we can do the same with this here. So just put it on your yarn needle and just hide it along any of these stitches and cut it off. And you can just shape your basket. If your yarn is soft like mine, just shape it back up and you're finished. Now you can put your Easter eggs inside. And you're finished. You have your little Easter basket.